peace, love, majesty, chaos, and truth. Most people that are chose by the hierarchy in their lineage, that got elected trials of their family ahead of their time. This is the thing. Before we are even born, before our mothers are even born, our grandmothers know who's going to be the next in line. The grandfathers know who's going to be the next in line to carry the torch for the family, to be able to free the family from the illusions, to break the casting, to denounce demons, to slay the demons. Every family has one or two. The first one didn't make it through their mission. They either was murdered, committed suicide, poison, or some type of assassination, and they forfeited their position, or their position was stripped from them, or the black magic and witchcraft that was placed over their mind and cast illusions over their mental took a toll on their mental, and they end up in psych wards. They people place them in psych wards instead of doing a proper background knowledge and check of what's really going on. The second one normally is the one that's of the younger generation that's being chosen by their ancestors to continue the journey, to continue the mission, to go full throttle in the mission, in a position, and not give up. See, the first one would have made it if they had a proper support team. The first portion of the family lineage would have made it if they had proper support, if they trusted themselves, if they had people to show them and tell them and guide them along the way. Most people in their family, they be scared to go full throttle on their mission. They scared. They're scared of their family turning their backs on them. They're scared of their family outcasting them. They're scared of their family talking about them. Or they're scared of their family just leaving them and saying fuck them. They're scared. And with them having fear, it blocks their path. It blocks them. When we block ourselves, we block our path. So when we don't take the proper precautions to do our own research, to check our own knowledge, to check our own bloodline, to check who we really are, then we'll be led astray. Because most people have not walked through their purpose. Most people did not fulfill their contract, or they ended a bargain, they forfeited, or something happened to where they were not able to finish it because of how powerful they are. People fail to realize the most powerful people, and I say this a lot, the most powerful people, they end up either murdered or they go all the way. And it's going to be people that's going to put money on your head. It's going to be people that try to put assassin on your head. And I'm talking about spiritually. And don't get it twisted, they will try it physically too. If they cannot do it physically, they will try spiritually. If they can't do it spiritually, they're going to try to do it to somebody that's close to you, to try to get you to put yourself in a position to lose it all. Not knowing Mama grants all things. So if we make a conscious choice, if we make a decision, whether it's right or wrong, and we may not know what it is at the time, we can make a choice right now and it be completely wrong for our lives within the 5 to 10 years span. But if we're not thinking longevity wise, if we're not thinking long haul, we're just thinking temporary satisfaction, or we're just talking about delayed gratification, then we're going to miss the mark in understanding the purpose of longevity and how to instill it and how to continue to go forward. The ancestors choose, God chooses, our soul chooses. So before we come on this earth, when our mother is born, our mother know, okay, if they inherited the gifts of somebody in their lineage before their generation inherited the gifts, they know somewhere down the line, one of my children is going to have a gift. One of my children is going to be it. One of my children are the it factor. I have to nourish them. I have to protect them. I have to give them love. I have to show them who they are. I have to tell them who they are authentically. I have to allow them to make room for themselves to see who they are so they can go into the phenomenal essence of themselves and their soul and their spirit. If that does not happen, the journey goes a little longer. The process of the healing and understanding self becomes a little dreadful. It can be dreadful. But that's where That's why Mama will bless us with a soul family. Because our family will not get it. The common family that we come from, the family that we chose to come into our lives, the family that we chose to be birthed into, they may not understand it. So we are granted a soul family. I gotta like the family that already know that we have experienced this with lifetimes before, 2-3 lifetimes before. We already know who they are. They know who we are. We just have to remember who we are, and our souls will recognize one another. Our spirit will recognize one another. And when we recognize one another, we'll understand, like, hey, we're soul to soul. We were one in a past life. So that means it's ordained for us to be one again as long as we do the work and take the proper actions and make the proper choices to do the work. That's all it's about, is doing the work. That's all it's about. Excuse me. And some people get scared. Some people get scared of themselves. People that see how powerful they are. I say, for me, example, growing up, I knew I was powerful. I didn't know how powerful, but I knew I was powerful, and it scared me. It scared me. Because I was doing shit, I was seeing stuff that I did not think I had any business being shown. But at the end of the day, I had to realize, if Mama is showing me this, if the ancestors are showing me this, or the spirits are showing me this, that means they're trusting me. That means they know that I can handle it. That means they know that I am prepared and that they will prepare me to be able to handle it. It's just up to me to follow directions. It's up to me to follow protocol of my soul. Now, don't get it twisted. Along the way of the lines of life, we may get derailed. We may get off kilter. We may get off track, but it's nothing to get back on track. The same way we got off of it, it's able to get back on there. Now, it's easy to get off track, and it's a little bit harder to get back on it, but it takes extra work, because we had to understand the why. The why are we doing this? We had to be doing it because we really want to do it. We had to be willing to do the work. We had to really, really, really be okay with how life is going to go. Because it's not going to go how we want it to go all the time, man. And that's the beauty of it. Some of the things that we be wanting is not what we need. And Mama will strip us from the things that we want and give us what we need. We just have to be willing to trust the process. We have to be trustworthy, and we have to be trusting. If we can trust Mama, if we can trust Source, anything is possible. If we can trust ourselves, anything is possible, because that's all it is. When we trust God, we trust ourselves. When we do not trust God, we don't trust ourselves. And it falls hand in hand, and people don't talk about that. People don't talk about it in churches. They don't teach you this in churches. They don't teach you this in courts. They don't teach you this in organizations. They teach you to depend on something outside of yourself instead of depending on the power within you. That's the difference between an organization and a court, something or somebody that wants you dependent upon them. That's a master. A master will teach you how to master yourself. A master will teach you how to master yourself, not how to master being dependent on somebody else. That's the difference between a leader and somebody that just want people to get an ego boost out of them or a high for them. People that truly are gifted at mastering themselves, we want everybody to master themselves. We understand that at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day, it's all about mastering ourselves. And how can I teach you to master you if you are dependent on me for everything? How can I teach you how to be honest with you and how to trust your inner voice if you're not connected to God? You're not going to know the voice of God if you don't know your own voice. If you do not know your own voice, you will not be able to know God's voice. We have to be able to distinguish the voices between other entities and spirits and be able to distinguish the voice of God and ourselves. God and our voice is not too much different. It's not too much different. And the moment where people have us thinking that God's voice is different from our voice, we fucking fail. We fail. Because we're taught to listen to everything outside of ourselves. We're taught and conditioned to trust and believe in everything outside of ourselves and not trust and believe in ourselves. Knowing the whole true power of love is to believe in ourselves. If we don't believe in ourselves, how is anything ever possible? How can we be the great that I am or the great of there is if we don't know that we are great? I'm a firm believer that you won't make it in life without God. I'm a firm believer that if you don't have God in your life, if you don't know God, if you don't know the voice of God, you don't know the power of God, you don't know the strength of God, you won't make it. You won't make it. And if you do make it, you won't make it far. Because at the end of the day, you'll end up selling your soul for delayed gratification. Because you do not know God for real. God is more so of something that's in. The best way to know God, the best way to get to know God is to experience God for self. Not take nobody else's word for it, but actually build a connection of validity. Build a connection of truth. Build a connection that's just not off of what you can do for me, but what can we do for each other? How can we protect each other? How can we love each other? How can we honor one another? A connection with God is like a connection with somebody you sleep with. A connection with God is like a connection with any other species or human being on earth. We have to nurture it. We have to reciprocate. We have to be ourselves and authentically represent in love and be love.